children, you need to have a 3-bedroom affair. Because each child wants his own room. If you have 3 children, oh my gosh, I will have to have a 4-bedroom. That's costing me thousands and thousands of dollars. So, what's the best 1-child affair? A 2-bedroom house is very cheap compared to a 3-bedroom and a 4-bedroom house. So, before you know it, you don't only become individualistic, you become stingy about life. Because it's so costly, you would not want to have more children. Because it's so difficult to maintain 1 or even 2. Much more 2 or much more 3. So our structures, even our homes, have been given a price that gets higher the more rooms you've got. So it's impossible to think of 9 children today. Or Ed's family of 12 back. You know, you cannot do that today. So, we live in condominiums, we live in houses, and we don't know what's happening just at the neighbor's house. These are duplexes. There's only 1 wall separating, and we don't even know the name, the family name of our neighbor. That's their life. We don't have to bother with them. They better not bother with us. Because of this, you know, we say marriage is between man and woman. But now it's between man and man. God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. But people think, well, I like to have a man. I'm a man, but I wish to have a man. I wish to have a woman. I'm a woman. We even changed the contour of the tradition of marriages. What a natural vocation from Adam and Eve. And we make it Adam and Steve. This very fluid, you know, you promise to each other, I love you for better, for worse, richer or poorer, sickness or health, until death. No way. I will tell you, until further notice. That's it. Why should it be until the end? Until I die. I don't know what's next. You know? So, just as we discard old cell phones, just as programs of computers would not run old things, anything old is immediately passé. And we forget that there's a value in age. We call it experience. We call them nuggets of wisdom. But for us, that's of the past. It has nothing to do with my present. Given this scenario, brothers and sisters, I would think that it's not easy to be a true member of CFC FFL. Our value system, our way of life, is counter to this culture. It's opposite. We value relations. We value forever marriages. We value God. We value the Creator, the Divine. We treasure the gift of life. But we are few. It's not going to be very many. It cannot be easily today the majority. In this postmodern, very secular world, it's not easy to be Christian. It's not easy to hold on to God and to each other. And that's why in this context, I'd like you and I to appreciate this gift of community you are in. This is not an association of persons. This is a calling. You were attracted to this by what Brother Paul says, by the power of the Spirit. The Spirit led you into recognizing the hand of God in your life. And you found a community that attests, that affirms that really witnesses to the values that are perennial, eternal, and not just passing. But to hold on to the attraction of the first moment, the first time that you saw this group and you felt so welcome, so happy. But now as you get more and more to know each other, it also gets difficult. If there was a split, it was also because of that. Through the years, we got used to each other, and before we knew it, we had biases, prejudices. We had personal, things that we do not share anymore with each other. We're not willing to dialogue. We're not willing to open. In fact, some people say, it's enough for a family because already my family is so difficult to keep together. And still become a chapter head, become an area head, become a servant. Oh boy. The more you're related with people, the more there will be problems in your life. But actually, it's a gift because it's not the problems that crop up that is very important. It's the support to this value system that we have to keep together. Without this value system, it's so difficult to live a good Christian marriage. I'm a priest of Salesians of the Bosco. A lot of diocesan priests envy me because at the end of the day, I am with priests. I am with people that have the same vision and focus of life. I belong to a community of 11 priests. And when we come at night to dine, it takes us 2 hours of laughter, of sharing. Every day, we miss Sunday because we are in apostolate. But otherwise, Monday to Saturday, we give ourselves opportunity to share the values that we care for, each one of us, and together. I'll just share with you something like this. I was a very young priest. I was getting my bicycle, come from Don Bosco, Mandaluyong. Yes, Chet would know this. And go down to San Felipe Parish. And there I would serve Saturday evening, Bible study. Wake up again early morning, 6 o'clock, because there's a youth group of the choir for the Mass. And there are 13 choirs. So I just stay the whole Sunday, except at lunch. At lunch, I go back with the bicycle to my community. Because it's my community. I belong to them. I don't belong to the parish. At one point, Monsignor Gabriel Reyes was not yet then a bishop, was telling me, Francis, why don't you stay for lunch? Father, I've got my community. So off I went. Then after a few Sundays, says, Francis, would you like to join me in lunch? I said, Father, I have a community. And then he said, 4th time, 5th time, Francis, can you stay for lunch? I said, Father, I've got a community. And he says, the hell with your community. I said, why? Why, Monsignor? Why are you talking that way? I said, I'm a priest. And I always talk with the lavandera, with the sacristan. We don't meet. Our minds, our culture, our education. I always eat alone. Can you just give me a lunch together? Then I realized what a treasure I've got in community. Brothers and sisters, what a treasure you've got with each other as couples for Christ. Households. People who do not yet belong to your community, they don't know what they're missing. Why? God is community. He's not alone. How could there be a father without a son? How could there be a son without a father? It's so obvious. And the love between the Father and the Son is the Spirit. The kindred spirit between them. That is a community of persons. And when the Son came on earth, He was not sent as an angel. He was sent as a son of Mary, with a foster father in Joseph. He belonged to a human family. He belonged to a society of the Jews. He is, as the divine and yet human person, He is of the family. Us is the family that He has in the Divine Trinity. So we were made according to them. And getting into household is becoming more and more what God intended us to be. Image and likeness of God, because we become more and more community this way. In heaven, we will not have Bicolanos, Ilocanos, and Kapampangans. We will not have Americans or Indians or Filipinos or Russians or I don't know what. We will be children of the one Father. That is the community He is making of each one of us. And this community, with the community coming from New York, that one day with a national conference, you'll have communities from Seattle, communities from all over the United States, from North America, sometimes even communities. We're going to celebrate the 30th anniversary in June. Maybe some of you will be coming to the Philippines. We're coming from 66 countries. What a beautiful thing I experienced in Athens. They got us into an island. We were in a hotel with the beautiful amenities, and there were 600 or 650 Filipinos, Slovenes, French, Germans, Norwegians. They got married to our people, and they are members of Couples for Christ. And lo and behold, the barriers of cultures, of languages were made one, because there was one sole motive, one sole focus, one sole mission. This, what you're experiencing, is not out there in the world. In your workplaces, come on. You just go to your desk and that's it. You become nosy if you start to talk with someone else. When you ask him some questions that's too private, and you feel disconnected. So, that is very significant for us. Now, I was fortunate that in the thing of the split, I was called. I was called actually by a good friend of mine. The husband is a best friend of mine, Amel. The wife is Maribel Descallar. She said, "Father, we are in a crisis. Please come." I've been with CFC as a friend, I celebrated masses way back in the 80s. I even helped in the publishing of Ugnayan and whatever other publications of the Glory, that's your book before of songs. Well, I've been associated but not as close as since 2007. In 2007, I asked the small core group of about 30 couples, about 60 or 70 people were around. And I said, "Are you willing to undergo a kind of process?" And the process was simply this. What attracted you to CFC? There was no FFL word yet. What attracted you to CFC? And what made you stay? Those two questions. What brought you, but what made you remain? That even today, you are CFC. And so we answered those two questions, and what came out is what we would call values, core values. We had nine. But I said, since Frank Padilla is the founder, why the founder? He wrote the statutes. He was there from the first, among the first 6 couples. He stayed all the 26 years. 25, 26 years. He was called by the church to represent CFC in the Vatican, in the Council of the Laity in the Philippines. He is now even a member of the Pontifical Commission of the Family. Is it because he's called Frank Padilla and Jerry Padilla? No, because he is noted as one who started a Catholic movement. I called him founder. He said, "Father, I'm not a founder." You are. You don't want to believe me? Ask the bishops. Ask the canon lawyers. And when we ask, he says, "You are the founder." And when you felt there was something wrong that is happening in the community, only a founder could feel that. Only one who knew the origins and the beginnings of a community like this could actually immediately sense there was something grossly wrong. Sorry, you have not maybe heard this, but in Manila, once I heard that you were called CFC, Couples for Cash.